Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Barbeno's World. In the last episode, I started terraforming this very large area here around spawn, and yeah, today I want to continue that a little bit. But before I do that, I'm not really into making up lore for builds, but I'd like to explain the thought process behind this style of terraforming the area. So basically the idea is this area started out as normal land, but I started farming here a lot, or the people that lived here started farming here a lot, and then all of the crazy farms kind of started to damage the land, and eventually they just turned it into this wasteland that you see here. And now it's completely inhospitable except for living in buildings like these and the domes like this, and only grass can exist inside of here. I think the style is really good, but also I think you need to completely nail the details if you want it to look really good. This was an idea I had to put magma blocks along this wall here, so it looks like, the center of the earth is kind of filled with magma and stuff. That's pretty nice. You can see up here what I've done so far, and honestly this isn't really very much. I would like to do a lot more, going all the way around all of my builds, so that when you're standing in the middle, you all you see is the blackstone, so you feel like you're in an entirely different planet or environment. But unfortunately, building all of the stuff that I have here already took me 4 full shulker boxes of blackstone slabs. And yeah, if I want to continue doing this, I'm definitely going to need to AFK at my gold farm and piglin bartering farm. This gold farm and piglin bartering farm is probably my most used farm, and you know what that means? Yeah, it means it's not fast enough. I want all my farms to be so fast that I really don't have to AFK at them for very long, and yeah, I just want this to be if I go AFK here for just a couple minutes, I'll have tons of blocks of gold and tons of bartering goods. When I AFK here at my gold farm, the mob cap usually doesn't go over about 40, and normally it's at about 20. So that means I can make this farm a lot faster without hurting the efficiency. That means I would just have to make all of these floors of magma blocks quite a bit larger. In order to do that, we're gonna need to place a lot more magma blocks, and I'm not too keen on collecting more of those from the nether. So obviously there is a farm for that, and that's what I'm gonna try to build today. Alright, I've spent some time trying to design a farm, and you guys might actually recognize this because it's only a slightly modified version of my slime farm, because magma cubes are basically just nether slimes. They are attracted towards iron golems, and they come in the same range of sizes, but there are also a few differences. For one, they don't take fire damage, which means we have to use wither roses to kill them. But that's alright because I just recently built my new wither rose farm. Also, they don't need light to spawn in, and they can spawn anywhere that they have a couple blocks of space. But also in this biome, ghasts can spawn, so we need to put a roof over it. So I've put my player up here, and we're going to do a quick test using a tick warp. So this is normal speed, and now let's speed it up. After a few minutes of testing, I can kind of tell that the rates of the farm are kind of not very good. We're getting less than 1500 magma cream per hour, which is only going to be a few hundred blocks of magma. But since we aren't hitting mob cap yet, we're only at 20 to 30, we can definitely build this a lot bigger. So just like the slime farm, build as many layers as I want until I kind of get bored of it. I want to make the farm out of cut sandstone slabs, because that'd be the opposite of the polished blackstone slabs I used for the slime farm. And yeah, I came out here to my sand collecting area, and I'm pleasantly surprised to find that you don't need a beacon to insta-mine this. Okay, I've collected 2 shulker boxes of sandstone, and that's definitely going to be enough, and if I have any extra, it'll always be nice to have. In addition to all of that sandstone, I went and collected a full shulker box of yellow glass, almost full, and that's for the walls, and I also grabbed a bunch of other stuff that we're going to need for the rest of the farm. I've already selected a location for the new farm, and I built a pathway out to it using this yellow carpet. And basically, it's just in the nearest basalt deltas biome, because that's the best place for magma cube spawning. So I've put down an outline. It's always nice to have one of these when you don't know how big a build is going to be exactly. And in the middle of it here, I want to put down some hoppers for a collection area. There we go. Now we just need to build the storage area. And I'm just going to use chests because I don't have very much room to build any sort of special system down here because we have the bedrock. I do really like these Christmas themed chests for the holiday event. Oh yeah, look at my storage room, that is really great. Okay, I should start working on the spawning platforms for this farm because that's actually what's going to take me a long time. Okay, I'm finally done the base structure here, and as you can see, I added 7 layers of sandstone slabs. I accidentally made this layer a different type of sandstone slab to the other layers, just ignore that. At this point, the farm is basically exactly the same as the slime farm that I have, which is okay, except that the magma cubes work a little bit differently in a few different ways. The first thing I want to do is make this farm entirely safe from ghasts. This snaking pattern of slime blocks and sandstone slabs should ensure that I placed all of these slabs properly. So if I go ahead and remove all of this slime, all of the slabs should be 2 blocks apart and 3 blocks up. Good stuff. Now on to the next change. Oh, we've got to take some wither roses and put them in there on top of that soul sand. And this would normally be pretty easy, but unfortunately I waited until the entire rest of the farm was done to do this. So it's going to be kind of a pain because these magma cubes are pretty dangerous. So I'm going to try to like fly away and then come back and do it really fast. All of the wither roses are in, and now the farm should technically be completely functional. There is just one more thing I want to add to this farm, but it isn't strictly necessary. I want to add a little bit of an extra roof around this place, and that's just going to improve the pack spawning. It's a little bit weird and complicated, but basically if you put blocks around other blocks, it'll basically make more mobs spawn on the spawnable blocks. I added that extra ring of slabs around the farm, and it doesn't look like much, but I think this should drastically increase the rates of the farm, even more so than like building another layer would. There's just one more thing I've got to do to actually be able to use the farm, and that is to build the Afk Spot. I'm going to try to use the same style of Afk Spot that I built at my slime farm. There I am. I'm all the way up in my Afk Spot, and this farm is absolutely trucking. I have no idea how fast this is exactly, but from some rough estimation, I can guess that it produces about 1 shulker box of magma blocks per hour, or 4 shulker boxes of magma cream. After AFKing at the farm for just about 1 hour, as I expected, I've got about 1 shulker box filled with magma blocks after crafting up all of the magma cream. And all of these are going to be perfect for upgrading my gold farm. Over here now, and I'm just kind of puzzling about how much exactly to expand this by, because I don't want to start getting bottlenecked by the mob cap. I just want to go up to the point where the mob cap is only full some of the time. Since we're so far away from the mob cap, I'm gonna start by expanding it by 4 blocks on each side. First things first though, I'm terrified of ghasts and I really don't want them to blow up this farm, so I need to expand the ghast proofing at the top before I start making the platforms larger. It should give you a pretty good sense of how big it's going to be after the expansion. Okay, let's build up this floor. The top floor has been expanded. That is 1 floor down and 7 more to go. All of the layers have been increased in size by about 60%, so this should mean that the rates are about 60% higher, unless we're being bottlenecked by the mob cap, which hopefully we aren't. I'm looking at the mob cap right here, and it looks like it's mostly staying in the 40 to 60 range, but occasionally it does go above 60, and I've seen it hit 70 one time. So that means we are really reaching the limits of how big this farm can be with this amount of layers. This definitely does look quite a bit faster than it did before. Now I just want to spend some time AFKing at the gold farm and also crafting these and giving them to the piglins so that I can get a bunch of blackstone in order to continue with the land transformation project. I have spent a very long time collecting blackstone for this, and I've finally gotten a decent amount. In front of me, I've got almost 3 full shulker boxes of blackstone and a bit more, and I even got some extra gold for the next round of resource collection. With all of this, I should be able to make some decent progress towards fully transforming the area around the base. And today I want to focus on some of the areas that I kind of missed in the last one because I didn't think they were as important, but finishing them will add to the effect quite a bit. For example, I need to go all the way around these farms, like the melon and pumpkin farm, and even into the village a little bit over here. I just set up a little base around here where I've got all my shulkers and anything I'll need, and I'm just gonna go turn on my mob switch, and then we should be ready to do a bunch of building. Welcome back, everybody, and it doesn't look like much has changed, but I've actually spent way more time placing blocks during this montage than I did in the last episode when I originally started the project. And that's because all of the terrain that I've added is so detailed, and I had to use a lot of stairs and slabs to make sure that everything fits. I also decided that rather than building really steep hills out of the blackstone, I should just build some cliffs, and since over here I used the magma as a sort of underground block, I thought it would be good to include that over there as well. I also have another magma cliff over here beside my starter house. And now that I've put in all of the blackstone around the starter house, you can see how the dome kind of shows that it's a sort of oasis environment in between all of the blackstone. We're nearly getting to the point where if you just walk around this place, you'll feel like you're in a completely different planet or environment. except there are still a few bits of planes sticking out from around the places, and yeah, hopefully I should be able to get rid of those soon, but the more I add, the more effort it takes to actually make a difference. I also want to check my statistics again just to see how much blackstone we're at. We are 5th on the list of blocks being placed. I hope that by the time I'm done this, I'm going to be first with blackstone slabs. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for this episode. It's been a really long one for me at least, and it was really fun. I got to work on some farms and a little bit of building, which is always nice. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.